great the um, not sure how good the stream audio is from my mic because my mic is ass, but if you guys can hear me well, okay, cool, audio's good. But, alright. Awesome. Alright. Okay, I think we are ready to go. Qualifying is up. Alright, let me mark down who has what, and I'll keep an eye on that. Okay. Got a couple people going out on intermediate tires right now. Do I need to invite someone? Alright. Here we go for our first lap here. Jody in the kick Sauber, setting his first lap on the soft tires. Have to keep a close eye out for intermediate pole position as well. Got both the Mercedes of Knights and Little Plays on laps behind. Maybe one's on an outlap at the moment. Trying to keep an eye on so many things. Hold on. Alright. I can't see chat. Hold on 1 minute. Just want to make sure. Request received. Okay, I'm going to assume that is them. I'm going to get them in here real quick. Okay, let me... Giant, sorry. Okay, I think, okay. I think that's, okay, I think that's where we are. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. All right. Try to get back to the action. Okay, so how everything's been going on. So far, Cohen has the fast lap so far at the moment, the 128. He's about a tenth ahead of Bolt. Aim so far in P3, Jody P4. As of right now, Thomas has intermediate pole position on the intermediate tire. We have Panda that could possibly make a threat for the intermediate pole position. Also, we have Funny Waveband that is also in that moment to try to get a intermediate pole position. We have Yellow Flag Sector 2, which is just gonna keep on popping up. Okay, obviously, like I said, we got 12 minutes until we realize. So in about a minute left, we'll see who has intermediate pole position, and we'll get that extra point. Spud, this is the 133.5 as well so far. So at the moment, it looks like Thomas has the intermediate pole position as of right now. We'll keep a close eye on anybody else I could challenge that. But right now, at the moment, Cohen with the fastest lap so far with a 128.8. Very solid lap for the Alpine driver. We have another yellow flag, Sector 2. That might be one of the Ferraris of AIM. And actually, this is really hard to see because I can't see the time tracker on my side of the screen as he calls that in. So I think Thomas is going to get intermediate pole position, as it's looking more likely that he is going to be able to get it unless Spud makes a challenge, but he will not. So Thomas will get intermediate pole position. He's going to set the fastest lap for Inter's pole. Okay, back to what we were doing. Alright. Trying to see who's on laps. Yes, praying that he gets in soon. Okay. There we go. So we have Chungus who set a 129 flat at the moment. So far, Cohen still on top with pole position at the moment. AIM looks like he's going to be on a second push lap here. Looks like he is pushing now. 10 minutes left to go in this qualifying session so far. Has the Ferrari, obviously, of AIM, who's hasn't raced, I feel like, in a long time. He's back. Obviously, Ferrari's reserve driver coming in. Both Ferrari drivers, sounds like, are not able to race today. There's a couple other people as well on outlaps, as he's going to call that in. So next up, we have, I believe this is ZLM in the Racing Bulls. That is going to be next across the line. And looks like he's actually starting a lap. What about that Red Bull of that might be Panda, that is? Or no, that is Rassam starting a lap. Alright, so little plays on an outlap. We have Bolts on an outlap, who is P2 right now, who's starting to get into the rhythm of things, I feel like, in his McLaren. He's had a pretty rough season so far, hopefully trying to turn his season around. At the moment, trying to see, this is a Glock, or I don't even know how you say that. I'm just going to call it G1. That's your username. Just going to go with that. Not even going to try to pronounce that. Alright. So, looks like Thomas is on an outlap. Rennie's on an outlap. Trying to see who is on a lap. That might be one of the other McLarens of Waveband, who is section. No, that is Waveband starting a lap. We have Thomas as well starting a lap. Bolt, who is on an outlap, as Calhoun has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane, so that is going to put him basically last. And we have ZLM that's possibly going to be first across the line to set his lap. Alright, so here we go. for the first of the qualifying laps. Here comes ZLM. He goes P6 with that lap. What about Rassam in the Red Bull? He goes P8 with a 130.1. Next up, we have the Aston Martin of Rennie, who was on an outlap. Spud, who was on an outlap. The Alpine reserve driver. So both the Alpines are reserving today at the moment. They are pretty sure in the, so far, I think they are leading the Constructors' Championship. As of right now, Jody, he's starting his outlap. He is starting his lap as well. Little Plays is going to be next to cross the line. So far, he's 3 seconds up, obviously, as per usual, because he set his lap on intermediate tires, trying to go for Inter's pole. Thomas was able to get Inter's pole. He's going to come across the line. He goes P1 with a 128.8. Not a bad lap whatsoever for the Mercedes. What about G1? And they go to the top, 128.8. Very good lap. What about this McLaren? A funny wave band, 128.2. Put 6/10 on the rest of the grid. What a lap for the McLaren driver. Very solid lap. Panda, who is going to be starting a lap. We have Thomas, I believe he set a 128.9. Driving the custom, or the Japanese livery on that Haas. And Knight is on an outlap. This is next up here, trying to see who is next. Actually catch on board probably with maybe Spud, who is on a lap. It's going to be next up. Also, we have to keep an eye on Jody as well. So we have a yellow flag in the middle sector. Looks like some drivers just trying to get out of the way. Rennie goes P2 with a 128.6. So that's going to put him pretty good up there. And here goes Jody. He's about 2/10 up, almost 3/10 up so far on this lap. Horse is going to put the kick Sauber. He goes P9. It doesn't find too much time, but hopefully get some more time in that car. What about Spud making his debut, I believe, for the first time this season, and he sets a 133.3. Not the best of laps. Could be a warm-up lap down there as well. Knight, who is starting a lap as well. So next up, I believe, is Panda, who is in the Red Bull. Jungus has left the session. I'll try to get him back in here if I can. Come across the line. It's going to be a 130 flat for Panda. Alright, Knight, who was on a lap. Alright, looks like can't be asked for this. Alright, understood. Here comes Knight across the line as, no, he's just going to call it into the pits. So, not sure if he was really happy with his lap at the moment. 5 minutes left to go. Rennie coming in. Jody, it looks like he's coming in as well. Now, Spud is the main question. Is he back on another lap? It looks like he could, and he's about 2/10 up. So, it looks like Spud is on another lap. See where this Alpine is going to put him. Cohen so far sent P6, his teammate. As here comes Spud across the line. Where's this going to put Spud? And he's going to go 130.1. So he's found a little bit more time. Not the greatest at the moment. Come back in and get a new set of boots on. See what happens next. Bolt on an outlap as well. And it seems like Panda is coming in to the box for a cool down and a fresh set of boots on that Red Bull. And at the moment, keep a close eye on Bolt here, as sent P7, his teammate Joshi, who has been on rails this season for McLaren, trying to get a Division 2 title for the drivers, as Bolt looks like he's going to come back in. So looks like that was not what they wanted. Alrighty, next up we have Rassam, who is on an outlap and is going to start his push lap. So here comes the Red Bull of Rassam. Comes into turn 1. He's going to get a little bit of traffic here from the Racing Bulls of ZLM. That's going to cost him probably a little bit of time. Gets out of the way pretty quickly. Up into turn 1, 2, and 3. Very tricky corner to get on the throttle there very quickly. So, you know, approach into the next corner. Gets down to third gear. Gets on the power pretty quickly. Now you go through one of the most trickiest parts on this racetrack, the S's section. Nails the first one, nails the second one, goes downhill. Very tricky braking as you're going downhill. Slight lock up there on the right front, not ideal for the Red Bull. So far now down into the most trickiest braking zone on this racetrack. Another lock up there. Very tricky to get that right, especially got to be very close with the apex. Now you want to use all the track width you can, as he's using right now. Foot flat to the floor as you now approach into one of the easier braking zones on the circuit. Down into fourth, goes up to the inside. Make sure he doesn't touch too much of the outside curb there. Now flowing the car through this part of the track as you want to use up the outside as he does. Down into fourth gear, very tricky exit. Looks like car almost was stepping out there just a little bit. So tires are really starting to feel their age here at the moment. As we come across the line now, we get another lock up there for Rassam. That's actually going to be an invalidation, so he's going to have to come back in and get a new set of boots on that car. So that was not what he wanted. ZLM, who is starting an outlap as well. As we have one of the Astons of Rennie coming in. Going to try to invite Mr. Knoll one last time. I actually don't even see him. Alright. Well, that's a shame. Alright. Here comes the Williams now next on a lap. I believe the Discord name is Vinx, I believe. Could be saying that wrong. I apologize. Reserving today. As looks like he's weaving, and it seems like called that one off pretty quickly as there's an invalidation. So not very happy with that lap. It seems like as well. Little plays. It was actually on a lap. We're gonna see where this is gonna put little plays. Use the ball his deployment already. So let's gonna see where this Mercedes driver goes, and he's gonna go P2 with a 123, only a tenth off Joshi, with a minute left to go. Pole position, still wide open for a couple people. This little plays retires as this lap is done and dusted. Jody trying to get out of the way. Got Cohen on an out lap. Thomas, who is on a lap, trying to see. I think that's ZLM actually going to be next on a flying lap. He's up by 3 tenths so far in the middle sector. Where is this going to put the Racing Bulls? He goes wide, he invalidates. Oh, that is terrible. He's going to go up for another one, though. He looks like he's got enough battery as he always does, and he spins and crashes into the wall there. Looks like a bit of a rage moment there for him. Cohen starting a lap. Now trying to get back on board. Who was I with? I think that might have been Thomas, I believe. 100% could be wrong. Trying to see who's next across the line. Obviously, got a couple drivers starting laps with the 50 seconds left to go in this session. Here comes Thomas. Worse is going to put the Haas driver. He goes P4. So 128.6. Not a bad lap. Not a bad lap. What about Rennie? Next across the line. He's used up all his battery so far at the moment. Has used up all the deployment. And where is this going to put the Astons? A 128.6. Not sure if that was enough. Noel has joined the session. Thankfully, we'll maybe have some stats up. As Bolt, I believe, was next. Looks like he's starting a lap. We have the Red Bull of Panda, who is starting a lap. Trying to get back with everybody I can. As down by 3 tenths. What about that other McLaren? I would think that is Josh. He's starting an out lap as well. So, I believe Cohen is going to be the first one across the line. Qualifying is up. That is it for qualifying. These laps are going to have to count for these drivers. As here we go, the chain of events of where and who is going to get pole position here. Okay, what about Cohen? Can he make an effort for Alpine here? He's going to come across the line. Where is going to put the Alpine drivers? He goes pole position with a 128.1. Very solid lap for Cohen. Aim next across the line for Ferrari. Where's is going to put the Ferrari driver? He goes up into P6. We have Knight in the Mercedes, and he's going to go into P10. What about Spud in behind him? Spud goes 12th. Panda into the pits. Rennie, who was on a lap, has actually invalidated. I think Joshi or Bolt is next. I believe this is going to be Bolt next across the line. So far, Cohen has pole position with a 128.1. Very solid lap for Cohen. As Joshi's retired. Joshi's out. Joshi's not going to get pole position here so far. Can Bolt spoil the party for Alpine? He's going to come across the line now as he goes into P5. Not enough for pole position. Who is next? I believe that is the Red Bull of Panda. He says, and we have the Williams, who looks like that's called that lap off. So there you go. Cohen secures pole position with a 128.1. Very solid lap for Alpine's reserve. One Alpine into pole position, the other Alpine sit in P12, so not the best of laps. Alrighty, there you have it. Cohen, pole position with a 128.1. Joshy P2, Rennie P3, Little Plays P4, Bolt P5, Thomas P6, Aim 7th, Jody 8th. The Williams of, I don't even know how you pronounce that, 9th, Knight 10th, ZLM 11th, Spud 12th, Panda 13th, Rassam 14th, and Chungus, who was disqualified. So that is Vinks. I apologize. I am terrible with names at the moment. So 5-minute break. Hopefully everybody listens to this protocol. It's like it's going to be a dry race here in the desert. Very rare to see rain here in Bahrain. On the rare occasion you might get it. All right. Okay, there we go. I have the check pulled up. Vinks. Okay. Okay, cool. I was not sure how I pronounced that. Thanks for clearing it up. During this break, I just witnessed a Lamborghini slam into an LMP2 at Petit Le Mans. Crazy stuff here. So, let's take a look at our driver standings. I will read these off. So far, Joshy sitting so far with the championship lead right now in the drivers. We're halfway through the season, comfortably ahead of M&H and Frosty P2, P3, Cohen sitting P5, Rassam P4 though for Red Bull. So slowly making that charge. Obviously Static Fiber not here today as well. And then when we look at the constructor standings at the moment, so far Alpine do lead the constructor standings. So Alpine so far sweeping both constructors in Div 1 and Div 2. McLaren and Racing Bulls. McLaren is so far the closest. As same with McLaren also in Div 2 and Div 1 as well. So very tight field right now at the moment. As the crazy man in the Lamborghini in Petit Le Mans is actually Denny Kvyat, so that sums up why that happened. Alrighty, so roughly about 1 more minute before our drivers can hit the ready up button and get a race started here in Bahrain. All right. Okay, I will read that. Alright, I will read that after. I am not sure what just happened there. Okay, so formation lap underway. 15 drivers. Got a Haas going backwards. Goes forward now. I think that Aston actually, yeah, that is that is a yeah. Okay, so we wait for the drivers to get to the grid. Cohen as pole. Joshy in second. Tire check. Yes, sir. Just get all this stuff situated. There's tires, lap data, full track map. Okay. So, mediums, aim goes to the soft, Rassam on the soft, and also we have the ghost of Chungus on the soft as well, unless he is racing. I'm not 100% sure. And he's not heard. Okay. So, there is your tire check. I'm gonna get back to this real quick. There is tire strategies. Could be a 2-stop today. Could be expecting some 1-stops tonight. For this afternoon. I think a 1-stop could work. If you pit on lap 4 to put on a fresh set of hard tires, you will make it to the end. We'll see whose strategy, we'll see who's going to do it on lap 4. That is the main question. So, wave band lining up to the grid as we wait the ghost of Chungus lining up to the grid shortly after, as he will be the last car on the grid. And we will get underway for the halfway points of the season so far. It's been a fun season so far in Div 2. We had a pretty close battle for the constructors and drivers so far. So anything can happen here in race 5 here in Bahrain under the lights. 29 laps. This is going to be very fun as we go for the 5 lights, and we are underway. And we have a drive-through penalty already for ZLM, who looks like he jumped to start. Rennie so far up into P2 at the moment so far. Great start for Cohen. Joshy with not the best of starts so far. We go down to turn number 1 as we go. Cohen takes the lead ahead. We got some carnage behind the mid-pack. One of the Ferraris. There goes the Alpine of Spud as Rennie looks like he hit the bollard. There goes Aim sliding around there in the Ferrari back there as well. Vinks trying to make a pass on Jardy so far on the opening lap. Nightcats as well goes down the inside. Has 2 front wheels locked up. Here goes Vinks, goes 3 wide in the middle between the 2. So far at the moment, got some contact there back there between, I think that might have been one of the Haas's. And also that is the Haas of Thomas, who made slight contact with Rennie there so far in the Aston at the moment, as so far we have some weird ghosting going on between them and Little Plays. But Cohen so far back out there at the front so far. Joshy sitting P2, Bolt sliding into P3 at the moment, Rennie 4th, Thomas in 5th. So both the McLarens 2nd and 3rd, as the Alpine of Cohen taking the lead so far at the moment, and the other Alpine of Spud down there in 11th, caught up behind Panda. Here comes Thomas, goes down the inside on Rennie there for position. We also get some carnage back there. Looks like the Spud and Aim that were going at it for 12th and 13th. So far, Cohen having this lead so far. Here comes Josh. He's sort of 2/10 back. He's going to have a great opportunity down the straight. Now the question is, what is Cohen going to do here in the Alpine? How will he defend this, if he is going to defend this? That is the question. He's got a lot more battery compared to what Joshy has. You can see how much battery that he has gotten. There's the it's one of the Astons, I believe, of Rennie trying to break that toe. ZLM into the pits so far to get rid of that drive-through penalty. Weibin sticking his nose out there, but he cannot make that pass at the moment. Rennie and little plays around the outside. That was actually Knight that's having a moment. There goes side by side between the two as Rennie with the front wing end plate damage. Here comes Vinks, possibly going to have an opportunity to maybe slide into P6, and yes, we do. We get a position as the Williams moves ahead of the Aston Martin of Rennie. Knight sent back there behind there as well. 1.2 seconds. 1, 2, and 3. Thomas so far out of the DRS range. He's got to get that second back to get back into that DRS range at the moment. Rassam and Aim going at it for 12th and 11th at the moment so far, as Jody and ZLM all having to pit so far in the opening laps. Obviously, ZLM jumps the start. Very crucial mistake for the only Racing Bulls here tonight. As we go down. So far, got little plays all over the back of Thomas. Thomas looks like could be on the struggling so far in the opening laps. He could have some damage on that car. He had a slight contact, I believe, with little plays actually back there as well. But so far, Cohen still leading this race. We're going to get DRS. Yes, Chungus just decided to call it. He did not want to race from what I heard. That is what I heard from his chat so far. But here comes Weibin. Here comes Joshy now. We got the Aston coming into the pits of Rennie. What is Joshy going to do? He's going to go for the move. He goes on the inside there on the Alpine as he makes the pass. Joshy takes the lead of this race so far. Cohen's now sitting P2. He's going to get the DRS now down this straight. How does Cohen play this? Does he make the pass? Yes, he does. He's going to go down on the inside. Does Cohen. And he's going to make the pass. He's giving the championship leader something to work for, and he's going to get that lead back. So Cohen retakes the lead so far at the moment, as we do have some pit stops already for Rennie. As Spud so far making up some, he says making up some good position. I believe he started a little bit farther back at the moment. So that is something to note. We'll take a look and see the driver positions. Position changes. So far, Vinks up 3, Knight up 3, Spud up 4, Rassam up 5, Panda up 2, and the ghost of Chungus. And then we have Rennie, who's lost so far 11, and Jody, who is on the hard tires, it looks like. So these two are going to try to maybe go to the end if they can make it. Obviously, it was a very early pit window. So here we go. Another opportunity for Joshy here in the McLaren. Now the question is, does Cohen break this toe? That is the next question. He's going to try to break that toe. Just trying to make sure that Joshy does not get anywhere near that. You can see Joshy has so much battery that he's burnt already. He's going to go down the inside there on Cohen. You can see Cohen has a lot more battery than what Joshy has at the moment. So now Joshy's going to have to play in a conservative mode as of right now. But here comes Cohen. He's going to get that lead right back. So Cohen sticking ahead of these three so far. You can see Bolt also just sitting back here in third, just kind of waiting for anything to happen. But Thomas 1.4 back. Little plays, he cannot really make that pass whatsoever. Vinks holding off from Knight 2 seconds back. So now these two are going to have possibly a little scruffle. There goes Spud with a spin. Oh no, the Alpine has spun all on his own. Unless he had a little love tap from behind. He's going to get back on the track there pretty quickly. He's now lost all that hard work he did at the opening. Is all gone. Tragic down there for Alpine at the moment. Not what they wanted to see, as Rennie has left the session. Let me try to get him back in. There he is. Alright. Lap 4. Cohen still leading this pack of these three so far, but Thomas just trying to get back into that 1 second range. Knight with 3 seconds. I believe also Rassam may have gotten 3 seconds as well. So those two are already getting the first of warnings already here tonight. Joshy now though having a great opportunity to get a pass here back on Cohen here if he's going to make that effort. As we're on board with the McLaren, he's going to make that pass now. As there you have it, we have another lead change now. But you can see how much battery that Cohen has compared to what Joshy has at the moment. But Cohen, I think he maybe gave Joshy a little love tap there in the back, unless that was just a weird contact model. So far down the inside, he's trying to go for it around the outside now. These two still at it, but you can see Joshy holds his own. He's going to take that lead. So we have a new leader in this race. Once again, definitely a couple lead changes here. As that's going to put Thomas and Little Plays back up into this top 5. As I have to... Okay. Alright. Here we go. So now you see this top 5 is actually now very close within this pack. It's going to be a pretty big DRS train. The only opportunity that they have of an overtaking opportunity is going to be the man in second, Cohen, because anybody that is third, fourth, and fifth, they're not going to really have the best shot. But we'll see what happens there. As we believe we have someone that has got another penalty. That was Panda in the Red Bull, who has gotten another penalty here in this race. So already 3 drivers with track limits violations on lap 5 here. Could be, I think triple warnings is still a bug in this game. I'm not 100% sure. As here we go for a pass here. Does Cohen make the pass as Joshy playing a little bit of defense here? Here comes Thomas though down the inside as he goes for 2. Oh no, he's going for a spin. He hits the back of the Alpine there of Cohen. He's trying to go down the inside, very aggressive there, as he's going to have to fight all that back there. Thankfully, Cohen did not lose out, and that actually is going to put Cohen possibly back into the lead in the Alpine. Those two side by side between the two of them. Very great wheel-to-wheel racing between these two as we go down into the S's part of the section. Cohen still giving up a fight of his own. He's going to take the lead back as he defends from Joshy. Here comes Little Plays down the inside between the two. Plays goes for it, and he's going to make the pass. So what an effort from Little Plays as he sneaks right back up into P2. And all that, Thomas loses out the most because he had obviously the little moment. Here comes Joshy back down the inside of Little Plays now. These two got DRS, but you can see that Little Plays is going to have the slipstream, but Joshy, I think he's burning all the battery. Yeah, I believe Joshy's burnt more battery than what Little Plays did, so he's trying to hold off that position. He very much did. Bolt loses out the 4th at the moment. This top 5 has absolutely been electric so far to watch in this race early on. That is very much what is getting me very hyped for this race so far, as this top 5 has been. So far, Rassam and AIM half a second back is AIM in the DRS, and you have that top 3 with Spud and ZLM as well. Cohen trying to break that toe, not trying to give Joshy any opportunity here, but Joshy still pretty far back. He's going to go for it there. Here comes Joshy. Possibly he's sneaking his nose in there. No, he cannot. He thought about it. Cohen still playing defense mode. Is this Alpine trying to make it as wide as he can, putting his inner Fernando Alonso defense mode on to defend this position so far. But Bolt loses out to that DRS range. You got to try to get back in there as well. Thomas also just closing that gap right back down to Bolt as well. So this top 5 is going to possibly get all. This top 5 could still easily make a change here of positions. That is for sure. At the moment, as checking a little bit farther back. AIM so far still over the back of Rassam, as we have, I believe, that is Spud, I believe, making a pass on the Ghost of Chungus. Bolt there, as we can see now, Bolt still in P4. He's roughly just flirting with the DRS range, so he's going to have to try to get that second. I believe the detection point is all the way down the straight, so if he's got some battery, he probably should burn that right now to try to get back into that DRS range. And so far he is doing what he is right now. He's going to actually get that DRS detection line, so Bolt's going to get that DRS back. Cohen saved a lot more battery to compare to what Joshy has done, so Cohen now using the battery to his defense mode, but Joshy now with battery and DRS. He's going to try to make a pass here. Joshy is playing aggressive. He does not want to sit behind Cohen whatsoever. He's going to go down the inside, do these two go at it. Joshy goes down the inside. Here comes Cohen. Cohen's going to have the inside line now through these two. Still side by side going uphill. Now who's going to have the DRS? Cohen a little bit off track there. Not sure if that's going to give him a warning or not. Hopefully not. But Cohen and Joshy still fighting along as Cohen looks like he had a slight moment there. Looks like I don't know if that was a rear locking on that Alpine there whatsoever. But Cohen is going to lose out as Joshy retakes that lead back. And now that has brought back Bolt into that action as Thomas just loses out quite a bit, but obviously he's got to try to get back to that range if he can. But Cohen, I apologize. He's going to be on the struggle bus here soon because I believe controller tire wear is not fun. So he is definitely going to be on that back foot. Spud gets a 3-second time penalty. That might be a triple warning if I am not mistaken. Unless he burnt all his bridges already on track limits. I am not 100% sure at the moment, so that is going on back there. I believe ZLM is actually sort of trying to make a pass, if he can, between these two. Vinks as well, making a pass here on the Ghost of Chungus. But here comes Joshy. He's going to lead lap 9 now of this race. As here comes Cohen now with the DRS. Does this Alpine have the opportunity? Yes, he does. He's going to go for the around the outside as Little Place still back there as well. These two still going at it as he goes out wide. Does Cohen, but he's going to make the pass. He's going to get a little bit compromised with his line there. Aim with a 10-second for speeding in the pit lane as Joshy's going to get that DRS back, and Cohen's going to be a little bit vulnerable from behind to Little Plays as so far maybe some slight contact between those two. Bolt, so he's kind of going to back out of that one. Thomas into the pit, so Thomas looking like trying to go for a big undercut on these two at the moment. He's got to try to get through this pack as well with Spud, ZLM, and Vinks fighting for the minor points paying positions. Points go down to 12th where Sam has that last point position so far on lock, but Vinks jumps ahead of Spud as ZLM and Thomas now having to try to get all the way that back, but Panda so far slot in P5, so a lot of people making early pit stops. Could be 2-stop strategies for most of this grid. So far it's looking like for a lot of these guys at the moment. Okay, so Rennie looks like PC has completely shit the bed. Alright. Here we go. Another opportunity. Who's got the DRS behind? Little Plays coming into the box. So Little Plays and Bolt going for the undercut on these two. Cohen gonna get the opportunity here down the straight. Does he make the pass as he's gonna go for it down the inside if he can? And he does make that pass. And he pushes him out a little bit wide there between these two. A little bit of contact between these two drivers at the moment. This is gonna cost them quite a bit, these two, but Little Plays jumps ahead of Bull, I believe, on that start. Panda with a 10-second, but Vinks is going to get into that P1 position so far, so Vinks is going to sneak into P3 at the moment. That could be provisional P1 at the moment on the racetrack. Not sure if they put it early on into that. We'll check in just a moment here, but Thomas as well. So we'll get an update here on tire strategies, and yeah, so far Vinks is going to be so far sliding into P1 at the moment on that medium tire. But Little Plays, yeah, Little Plays going for a 2-stop, I believe, in this race. There's no way he's going to make it to the end on that medium tire. Thomas could make it with some excellent tire management. These two still going at it. Here comes Joshy as I'm missing the front a little bit. Probably not ideal as I'm more focused towards the back, but obviously these two looks like they're trying to make it to their pit window at the moment, but we're seeing what happens there. But Joshy still hanging on for dear life at the moment. And now the question is, do these two pit? That is the next one. As it looks like, no, they're not. They're not pitting. So they stay out another lap. Here comes Cohen, aim with another 3-second time penalty. As you can see, Joshy's defending from Cohen. So he's not wanting him to go around whatsoever, as Wadeband defends very well Joshy, staying ahead of Cohen so far. And this battling is slowly helping Vinks get the, 3-second time penalty. As you can see, Joshy's defending from Cohen. So he's not wanting him to go around whatsoever, as Wadeband defends very well Joshy, staying ahead of Cohen so far. And this battling is slowly helping Vinks get the, 3-second time penalty. As you can see, Joshy's defending from Cohen. So he's not wanting him to go around whatsoever, as Wadeband defends very well Joshy, staying ahead of Cohen so far. And this battling is slowly helping Vinks get the, 3-second time penalty. As you can see, Joshy's defending from Cohen. So he's not wanting him to go around whatsoever, as Wadeband defends very well Joshy, staying ahead of Cohen so far. And this battling is slowly helping Vinks get the, 3-second time penalty. As you can see, Joshy's defending from Cohen. So he's not wanting him to go around whatsoever, as Wadeband defends very well Joshy, staying ahead of Cohen so far. And this battling is slowly helping Vinks get the, 3-second time penalty. As you can see, Joshy's defending from Cohen. So he's not wanting him to go around whatsoever, as Wadeband defends very well Joshy, staying ahead of Cohen so far. And this battling is slowly helping Vinks get the, 3-second time penalty. As you can see, Joshy's defending from Cohen. So he's not wanting him to go around whatsoever, as Wadeband defends very well Joshy, staying ahead of Cohen so far. And this battling is slowly helping Vinks get the, obviously she wants right now, and that's going to be P1 so far on the racetrack. But here comes Cohen back down the inside. He's going to make that pass on Joshi. So Alpine giving McLaren a run for the money so far, but there is Vinks. Little plays, Thomas and Bolt could be going to the end there on the hard tire. And we have Knight on 5-lap softs. Aim and Rassam also as well. They all pitted early on. As now these two going back at it. See, Josh, he looks like he's just gonna kind of hang off on that one. We have some ruffling, it looks like, back here between ZLM and Spud. This is basically for the final couple of points positions here. Is ZLM hangs on ahead so far, defending from Spud. So far, Panda 13th. Then we have the Ghost, obviously. And these two Astons who are ghosted at the moment. So Panda so far the only one that's not in the points at the moment so far. Vinks, good pace so far. Yeah, very good pace so far. He's closed that gap down quite a bit to these two, but Joshi makes the pass on Cohen. So these two looks like it could be just DRS sharing now at this point. But Cohen's going to get that DRS opportunity to slide right back into P1 at the moment. Lap 12 so far of this race. How does he play it? Cohen is going to get right back into P1 at the moment. Cohen takes that lead back. Joshi could be making an effort there. No, he does not. He's going to back out of that one. So could have an opportunity down the next straight. But Vinks, little plays slowly closing that gap down. Little plays could be pushing just a little bit. As you can see just how much battery that little plays has compared to what Vinks has. Vinks only having 25. Little plays at 62. Thomas so far not going to have the pace advantage at the moment right now, but could be very shortly now, as ZLM, Spud, and Panda for 11th, 12th, and 13th. Spud looks like he almost at the back of Panda there in the Alpine. Almost did Spud. Thankfully he did not. Cohen still leading ahead of Joshi. These two yet to pit, as obviously looks like they're both trying to go for the one stop. They've been in 11-lap old mediums. ZLM with another 3-second time penalty. A lot of drivers actually getting penalties, so got to be very careful with track limits. Cohen with the back end coming out on that Alpine. These two still yet to pit. Cohen with the battery. Joshi as well with battery. These two against some quite enjoyment. Clean racing between these two so far, as excuse me, Joshi gets back at it. He's going to jump ahead. And little plays actually. He's going to jump ahead of Vinks at the moment. We have that is the other Mercedes of Knight coming into the pits as Cohen gets P1 right back. So there you have it. Bolts and Aim, I believe. Aim is actually making the pass on Rassam. So Rassam now just back here as well. Rassam both fronts really locked up on that Red Bull so far, but all sorts of stuff happening. Jody, as far as sent P9, obviously got caught up in a first lap crash, so he's gonna start feeling that one. He's gonna get another 3-second time penalty. So we're gonna see where that total that hit puts him. As there we go. So Aim with 13 seconds. Rassam with 3 seconds. We have Jody with 3 seconds, and ZLM with 3, Knight with 3, Panda with 13 seconds, and Spud with 3 seconds. So there is your penalties at the moment. As when we look at tire strategy so far, 12-lap hard or mediums for the front two so far. It looks like they're both coming in, and yes, they do. Both drivers coming in. Very crucial, not speeding the pit lane are these two. If they come into the box now, where is this going to put them exactly? Little plays though. With all that squabbling that they did, they're going to lose out, but they're going to go to the end on the hard tires if they can make it work. But Little Play is going to take the lead in this race. Banks is going to slot into P2 as Thomas is going to sit P3. But actually, Bolt is the main question. Bolt is going to get the big undercut on these two, and Bolt's going to get that back right as well. So Bolt goes for the undercut, and it works for him, as he's going to possibly could be so far in provisional lead at the moment, but obviously so far Thomas has that. Rennie is back into the session. His race has basically been completely compromised. Not by his fault. His PC just decided to just act up towards the end there. But yeah, there you have it. So far, as these two still going at it are Eamon Cohen. Or not Eamon Cohen, sorry. Josh Eaton Cohen. Aim back there in 7th. Spud with another 3 seconds. Rassam also just kind of back there as well. Panda holding on to the last point position at the moment so far in this race. But Little Plays 2.5 seconds ahead of Vinks in the Williams. As Thomas is going to have a great opportunity here on Vinks for P1, or P2, I apologize. Haven't commentated in a while, clearly. So he's going to go down the inside there. He's got the DRS detection line. He's going to make the pass. A very rare overtaking opportunity, but he makes it work. Thomas, as Vinks comes into the pits, she's going to get off those mediums and possibly get on a set of hard tires. That is, I'm assuming, going to be the next call for that Williams driver. As Joshi and Cohen, 4th and 5th. As you can see, Bolt actually with front wing damage. So Bolt, I did not see that on that car, but yeah, that's gonna lose him some time. He's gonna roughly lose about a second, most likely with that front end plate. You need all the end plate you can, but these two going at it might help him maybe pull away just a little bit. But yeah, that is not ideal for those two, for Bolt back there, who is really trying to get his season turned around at the moment. But so far, he's in a pretty good position. Back at where it all started for him at McLaren. Back at his home base is the man Bolt. As Jody still out there on those hard tires, but Vinks gonna have a great opportunity. ZLM still holding on for 10th. Knight 11th. Panda 12th. Spud 13th. Rennie is back in. Yeah, he's just kind of driving around there at the moment, so he's just kind of banking on a safety car at this point. Or retirement. To get him back in, but alright. Here's Bolt. But there's Aim. Looks like he's trying to break that toe on Rassam, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. But Cohen kind of all over the back there. He's going to make the pass. As there goes Cohen as he's going to go at it. As these two are still side by side. They're still going at it for 4th and 5th place at the moment. These two are battling for the lead quite a bit. You can see that Joshi playing defense on Cohen. And this is great racing between these two. Rennie left the session again. These two make contact as Cohen. Oh no, I'm not sure if he just completely misjudged his braking zone or what, but those two lost out quite a bit, and they're going to easily lose that second to Bolt. So this situation just helped Bolt quite a bit. Bolt's got some breathing room, but also this is helping out Thomas quite a bit. Obviously, those two racing, but Bolt's pace at the moment is not too great at the moment, as Rennie also with another disconnection on his side. But Little Plays still having to make another pit stop. Is that driver? So I'll try to get back to this action here. So Joshi was able to just crawl all that time back that he lost to Bolt at the moment. So Bolt definitely struggling with that broken end play. He's going to lose probably about half a second worth of downforce, maybe like a full second, a long lap here of downforce on that McLaren. As you can see, Rassam jumps ahead of these two. Bolt kind of gets out of the way for his teammate Joshi, so could be some little bit of defense here, looks like, between these two. But Cohen gonna have to try to make a pass here on Bolt. Bolt's gonna play defensive mode. He's sort of playing defense. There goes down the inside as Cohen. Oh no, the Alpine Oh, out of desperation, Cohen tried to go for it, and he made a slight mistake. And oh no, that is terrible. Oh boy, that is not what the Alpines need at the moment, as both the McLarens... Oh man, that is tragic. Cohen having the race of his life as well. Former winner here. Now at this point, now you gotta bang for a safety car if you're Cohen to just try to get that back at the moment. But so far, little plays still with his pace. Still pretty strong pace on those medium tires at the moment. He's going to come in now, and yes, he does. So Thomas is going to take that lead back. Thomas, he's going to the end. I think he's going to go for it. Now the question is, can he make it to the end? That is obviously the next question. Here comes little plays into the box. As Cohen looks like he was able to get around Aim there. It seems like Aim could go down the inside on Cohen if he can. At the moment, so Rassam with another front lockup at the moment. Rassam, who didn't really have, I don't think he had really the best qualifying, but he's definitely got good race pace. Definitely one of the more underrated and probably one of the cleanest drivers on the grid. See, a little bit, looks like a little bit struggling there in that Red Bull at the moment. That could be an issue for him, but yeah. Now the question is, what's Cohen's pace going to be like on that medium tire? Because obviously, like I said, Bolt's got that front wing end plate damage. So Cohen, if he gets back ahead of Rassam, he might still have a charge to go for P3. Like I said, a safety car could change anything in this race at the moment, but he could be making an effort. But Joshy, he's going to definitely have to start pushing here soon if he wants to get that gap back to Thomas. So Thomas, so far, looking for his maiden win. I don't think he has a win at all this season. Correct me if I'm wrong. But just trying to get his first win here for the Haas squad. Here comes Cohen. As he's going to make that pass ahead of Rassam. Oh, these two, the slight contact between the two of them. Not sure what happened there. I don't know if that was a game issue or Rassam just misjudged it, but he let him right back by. So, a little bit of beating and banging between those two. Alpine and Red Bull. Thankfully, no damage on both cars. But, yeah. Let's see, Aim into the box for the Hards. Jody so far in that final point position. Panda sitting 11th as Spud in 10th at the moment. ZLM, I think he maybe has pitted maybe for another set of Hards. We'll get an idea here soon. As he's still out there on those 8-lap old mediums. Not sure if those mediums are going to make it to the end. So keep a close eye on that one. But yeah, little plays. He's going to be interesting to watch now because, like I said, he pitted on the hard tires. But little plays, depending on his race pace, you know, he's got 10 laps, but anything can happen. I mean, a podium is still in the hunt for him. That is the question. But Joshy with the fast lap so far, he's closing that gap down to Thomas. I believe he just closed into a second on Thomas. So he's definitely going to start feeling that. Obviously, like I said, Thomas is on a controller, so the tire wear is going to be something that he's not going to be too happy about. That is for sure. Rassam with a big, I think he's just completely misjudged the braking there again. Rassam been struggling a little bit in this race, that is for sure. But yeah, he's going to kind of let little plays go down the inside, and he's going to make the pass. Little plays with a slight lockup there on the front on that Mercedes, but he gets that move done. And the little plays slots into 5th. is Cohen now is going to be the one question we all need to ask, and how long can he hang on to that Alpine? That is the main goal. And the question is, can he hold on to P5? Definitely hasn't so far, but anything can happen, obviously. But still want to express that desire again. Controller wear, tire wear versus a wheel is not great. But yeah, surprisingly though, on that Alpine, there was no damage from that incident he had, so that is obviously something to note. Maybe he does have a little bit of damage. I'm not sure if I can really see it. Could be some floor damage. But anyways, little plays. He's got the DRS now. He's gonna go for it. Cohen's gonna play defense maybe. A little bit, kind of just chooses his line. Slight little love tap there in the back of the diffuser. Did the Mercedes get the Alpine there? Alpine, Cohen plays defense. Here comes little plays as he's gonna go for it. As Cohen slides right back down on the inside. Oh, little plays. Thought he almost hit the back of him there. No, he did not. But yeah, Cohen playing defensive mode. He's doing a good job at it so far. Very good job at it so far. But Bolt still hanging on to P3. But look who is coming. The championship leader. Still, after all the stuff that he had to go through today, is in a great opportunity to win this. But Thomas looking for his maiden win for the Haas squad. Not sure if Haas even has a race win. They might. Probably back in season 2 or season 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. But trying to get back into the victory circle are the Haas boys. But yeah. As I actually didn't even realize that little plays got around Cohen, so clearly the commentator was asleep. He didn't even realize that. Apologies, but yeah, you can see that little plays. He's actually used up quite a bit of battery there with that defense. We're going to have a back marker of Rennie kind of getting into the way maybe of this battle there. He's obviously going to be ghosted. He should be ghosted here soon, but he's going to come out of the pit exit now of these two. So they'll have some DRS though they can flirt with, unless Rennie actually might be ghosted. Not sure. Yeah, he honestly could be ghosted, those two. But Cohen trying to break that, just trying to break that toe if he can. But so far, 2.3 is the gap. Thomas just trying to hold on in the Haas. Looking for a race win. Looking for a race win, that is for sure. But here comes Cohen. Possibly little plays trying to make a pass here on Cohen now. Just see little plays just all over the back of Cohen. I don't think he's really been too pleased with how he's been able to get through this field at the moment. I feel like has little plays, because I definitely think his strategy could have worked quite a bit. But you see they are catching up to Bolt, just little by little at the moment so far. But yeah, could be that too. But here comes Cohen playing defensive mode again. But yeah, I think little plays is just too far back, and he just really cannot get that close enough that he wants to. So but yeah, with all that happening though, look who's back into that second. Joshi is back in that 1 second range. He is back in that second, as we got some pit stops down there. I think the ZLM into the box. He's going to possibly maybe lose out, maybe to a point. I'm not 100% sure how much he's going to lose out. But Thomas, those tires got to be screaming death here soon. He's on 14 lap hards compared to what Joshi has on 9 lap old hards. But little plays makes a move on Cohen. Was actually down there at one of the more tricky braking zones on the racetrack. And obviously Cohen's going to fight this back, so Cohen still not giving up in that Alpine, but little plays gets right back around him. And now they are catching up to Bolt. Bolt is in that last podium spot at the moment, but how does Thomas play this? That is the main goal. Obviously, a lot more older tires than what Joshy has at the moment, but he's got battery. He's gonna try to maybe break that toe as he burns it now. And he goes defensive mode. He goes on the inside. Yes, he does. He's going to defend the inside line. He's going to make Joshy go around the outside here. In the McLaren, he has a slight mistake. He kind of goes a little bit deep now. Are these two going at it? Still so far, anything can happen here. Now the question is, does he defend? He's going to defend the inside line. Josh is going to have to try to go around the outside here if he can, as that is not what I want to do. Those two, there's slight contact between the two of them, but Joshy moves right back up. I accidentally misclicked there. I apologize. We missed the heat to battle, but Cohen is going to slide back into third place as actually Bolt pits. So Bolt, possibly too much on that front wing, or just could be some damage on that McLaren, but yeah, Bolt's in. So now this is still for a podium. So Cohen a little plays for the podium. Anything can happen, but Vink so far looking good for a top 5 for the Williams squad. And here goes Joshy around the outside of Thomas. Thomas just doing everything he can to just try to stay into that range, but definitely going to have to start feeling his tire wear on that Haas so far sooner than later. But still has an opportunity, though, to make a pass here. So Thomas is going to get the DRS. It's a long DRS straight. Joshy's going to use battery here to defend, though, so that is going to be taken note. But Joshy, you can see, he's got a lot more battery compared to what Thomas has, but he's going to make the pass. So Thomas slides back up into P1. Now he's going to have to go back into none. Play conservative there. Joshy possibly almost hit the back of the Haas driver there. Maybe it was a little too close to comfort. Looks like between these two is the Mercedes giving another love tap to the Alpine rear diffuser. At this point, the Alpine rear diffuser is going to probably be split into 2 at the moment by the end of this race. That is for sure. But Waveband gets back around Thomas there. As now Thomas has to play the long game of just trying to hang on in this middle sector of the racetrack with the dirty air that he has. ZLM gets the fast lap so far, though he's sent P11, so he's going to maybe get a point or two. Spud back into the pit. Spud, he's easily going to have that point. Panda's too far back for 13th at the moment. But Spud goes on to the soft, though. He could be trying to get that fast lap back. Panda with another 3-second time penalty for the Red Bull. Little plays, and Cohen still obviously going at it. But the main battle up here up front between these two. And that is Thomas and Joshy. That is what we are watching here. This is obviously Thomas trying to just get this maiden win if he can. His first win, I believe, in the league. Trying to get Haas back into the P1 circle, but he's been solo for a while. Not sure if he has a team in anymore. I believe that man has left Yog. I'm not sure if he's still in the league or not, but not 100% positive. But are these two still for the podium? Still wide open. Are these two going at it? Vink so far looking for a good top 5, as she's done a really good job so far for Williams reserving. But yeah, there we go. Joshy breaks a second. Thomas on 17 lap old hards. I mean, he could be close to puncture race. He could be close to that puncture range, so start feeling that sooner than later. But Cohen is saving battery, but you can see that little play. He's got 100% battery at the moment. Probably all that saving and harvesting just helped him out quite a bit, as battery is definitely like what Little Plays is doing, because trust me, I'm the same way. I need as much battery as I can in this race. As you'll definitely need a lot. believe Panda goes back into the box there. Keep an eye on this, obviously, but Jody, AIM, and ZLM for 9th, 10th, and 11th. So I'll get close to back to that there shortly. But so far, just trying to keep an eye here on lap 27. Little plays, trying to go down the inside here of Cohen, and he's just trying to get around him some way he can, but just cannot make it. But he's got a good opportunity now. Cohen looks like he could be on the could be struggling just a little bit on those hard tires. 13 lap olds compared to 9 lap old hards. Little plays. Just sits right back behind him. But yeah, I want to get an eye on this one right here between these three, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Obviously, we got Ferrari, we have the Racing Bulls, and we have the green of Jody. The kit car. There goes Jody. Trying to get ahead of 9th. Gonna make the pass, but AIM still defends that very well. As ZLM looks like got some broken end plate on that Racing Bulls car. So, they got some end plate damage. See, oh, those two still going at it. There goes ZLM trying to go around the outside. If he can, oh no! Oh no, these two make more contact as ZLM loses a front wing there. Oh man, that is tragic. Now you can try to hold on these. It looks like some retaliation there for the Racing Bulls there. ZLM not happy with the way that Jody possibly raced him, or that was just some slight contact. As now the question is, can ZLM even hold on with a front wing that's not even on the car? Yeah, that is the main thing now. But back so far, the P4, P5, little plays, just still roughly behind. But something to note though, Knight is slowly just kind of catching in on Vinks. Knight, who honestly is just having a really quiet race. He's kind of gone under the radar today. I definitely know his capabilities of racing. I've raced with this guy multiple times. But yeah, no, he's been very quiet tonight. Has the Mercedes driver. Very happy to see him getting a good result. As these two, I think those two may have just had some wheel-to-wheel moment that I just missed completely. Cohen gets that back though, as little plays still just trying to make that pass. But yeah, these two, they've just been going at it for a while now at this point. Eventually someone's got to give up, but Josh is going to take the final lap of this race here soon. ZLM with a 3-second too many warnings now on that Racing Bulls. But here comes little plays. He's just kind of going to sit back here and just kind of wait for it. He's going to go on the inside here of the two. Very tight. Close, kind of shut the door pretty aggressively, but it was equally fair. That was for sure. Here comes little plays. Final lap now. This is his last opportunity for the podium. So he's going to have to try to go for it. He's going to go on the inside here on the Alpine. Oh, there's more contact between the two of them there. But little play is going to slot back into third. Cohen with a 3-second. Looks like he possibly cut the curb. That's going to possibly sneak Vinks into 4th place if he does not play this right. So Cohen is going to lose out again. And that's going to easily lose him the podium unless that was a triple warning. I'm not 100% sure down at Alpine, but what has happened? Oh man, that is... I mean, this is just terrible luck. I mean, to just get a 3-second at the end. Joshy gets a 3-second. It's not going to matter anyways. Thomas is well ahead. Or well behind, I should say. But yeah, that definitely is not going to help him whatsoever. But yeah. Funny Wave Band. Still on a man on a mission. He's leading the championship. M&H. It's definitely got his work cut out when he comes back. Try to close that gap down if he can. But yeah, final corner. Congrats to Joshy. He's going to get another win on the season for McLaren. Joshy wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. What a drive for him as he just completely hits the wall at the end there. As Thomas is going to slide into P2. Little plays 3rd. Cohen 4th. And round of applause to Vinks, going to secure up top 5. Knight's going to slot into 6th place. Good result for Knight. Rassam's going to come on P7, not the day that he wanted. Still points on the board for Red Bull. Bolt, without a warning, he's going to actually jump ahead of Rassam. Could jump ahead of a lot of guys, and yes, he does. Aim is going to slot in 9th place for the Ferrari. And ZLM holds on to that Racing Bulls car with a front wing that is non-existent. It's going to secure possibly P10, maybe P11 on the racetrack. I guess he does. And Spud, final lap, final corner. He is going to secure the final point. Spud gets the final point for the Alpine squad. Congrats to the top 5, as what a result. Joshy on another win adds to his resume. There you have it. There is your results.